Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kat.
We're Bonding Over Bourbon, and welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
When we were given this opportunity, we were asked to pick a bottle we love. We're a bourbon hunting channel based in Chicago, and you would think that we would have picked a bourbon from our growing collection.
Yeah, but we have a not-so-secret passion for Japanese whiskey, and like people, a really good bottle of whiskey has an interesting story to tell.
Takamine 8-year. It's a story about being ahead of your time during a period that wasn't very welcoming to change. It's a 100% two-row pearl barley and koji fermented whiskey. Chris, what is koji?
It's the process of allowing rice grains to naturally ferment over several days while creating good bacteria. Most commonly, it's used in food and other beverages like soy sauce, miso, and sake. Jokishi Takamine was raised in Japan and came from a long line of sake brewers, so he naturally had a strong sense of koji fermentation and decided to use it when making his whiskey.
When studying chemistry at the University of Scotland, he specialized in whiskey production. Takamine learned that fermenting with koji was more effective in the malting process in terms of converting grains into sugar. This allowed for more complex flavors and a shorter aging process.
What do you get from the nose here?
Ooh, I get like a nice mustiness from it.
Yeah, there's so much going on in here.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of new oak.
I get ripe orchard fruits, like a white peach.
Yeah, absolutely. I also get like unroasted chestnuts.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like this smells almost like a bourbon.
Yeah, without like the ethanol burn.
Yeah, nothing on the nose, honestly.
No.
This isn't the first whiskey that's used rice in the distillation production. We've had GT Mellick and Fukano, which are two 100% rice-based whiskeys that we absolutely love. Now, should we give this one a taste?
I would love to. So the white peach definitely comes through from like the nose to the palate on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I get on the palate that I didn't get on the nose is like white chocolate and butterscotch.
Ooh. I also get like a little bit of oakiness, but not like overly oaked.
I'm getting some vanilla from it as well, and I think that maybe that's where my white chocolate is coming from.
Yeah.
Like the new oak with the vanilla can kind of give a white chocolate mouthfeel.
I'm also getting like hazelnut cream.
Yeah, we're trading out the like toasted chestnut for like a hazelnut profile.
Yeah.
And you know what it really reminds me of?
What?
Do you remember those Kinder Bueno bars?
I love those.
Takamine really knows this stuff.
That's why when he moved to Chicago in 1890, he caught the attention of the Illinois Whiskey Trust. It was the largest producer of spirits at the time, and they relocated him to Peoria, Illinois. And he started working for the now defunct Manhattan Distilling Company.
This is truly awesome and like honestly very inviting. But you know, what's not awesome was once Takamine did move to Peoria, distillery owners and workers weren't exactly inviting to him, and they started to see his innovation as a threat to their businesses. So the Illinois Whiskey Trust decided to try to recruit Takamine by force, and that resulted in his distillery being burned to the ground and Takamine barely escaping with his life.
I can only imagine what that level of isolation feels like. Being in Chicago, we're a little disconnected from the rest of the whiskey community.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, we love what we do, and we're very proud of the work that we put out. But we couldn't help but feel connected to Takamine's struggle of feeling alone and wanting to connect with his peers.
Yeah. With opportunities like this from Daniel, it makes it a little easier to find your place in the larger community of whiskey too.
To Daniel.
To Daniel, thank you. I still get those like the rich mouthfeel of it.
Yeah, you know, we've enjoyed this one over the course of the last couple weeks, and it honestly just keeps getting easier to drink.
It's too easy to drink, I would say.
I'm also surprised that every time we go for this, being 100% barley, I expect there to be some form of graininess.
Yes.
But there never is, and it's always surprising.
You know, it's such a clean finish. Like, it's just on your tongue, you get all of those flavors so quickly, and then there is like no burn at all.
The richness, the flavor, just none of it sticks around for too long. It's there as long as you want it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I would say that this tastes older than it really is.
It really does. And I would also say, like, if someone is trying to get into Japanese whiskey that's like a bourbon drinker, this is very friendly. It's super friendly.
Yeah. So this is definitely, like Kat said, more of a bourbon flavor profile than it is like a barley, scotch, or Japanese whiskey flavor profile. But even on top of that, I'd say this drink's closer to a 12-year-old bourbon than it does a 8-year-old barley-based anything.
Yeah. It's honestly too bad that the Illinois Whiskey Trust didn't let him make things like this.
Like this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah. And to think like where whiskey would be, American whiskey would be with the Takamine process.
If we had 140 years of this, the bourbon industry would be completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why they were scared of his process, because this is a whole nother beast, although I don't accept the fear.
So even though he was alienated after the fire, he continued to distill his whiskey through the Whiskey Trust under contract until 1894.
Man, he is a much better man than I am.
I would have quit.
Yeah, I would have immediately gone back to Japan. Eventually, he did leave the industry altogether, and he moved to the medical field, where he discovered yet another groundbreaking innovation. He actually created what we now know as epinephrine, or adrenaline.
Oh, I think that's saved like a few lives here and there.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Fast forward to the modern era, with the blessing of the Takamine family, Shinozaki Distillery revived the Takamine process and shared the 8-year Koji whiskey with the world. And, fun fact, he also donated all of the cherry blossom trees in Washington, D.C. You'll even see a whiskey finished in cherry blossom wood to honor this.
We picked Takamine 8-year because it's a tale about somebody who's not afraid to give it their all and who's even less afraid to fail. We are honored to have this whiskey be part of our state's history. And it now, through this channel, talking to you, we feel like it's a part of our history now, too.
Yeah. It's an inspiring story to push yourself because you never know what you can create. And it's even easier when you have the support of the community behind you. Which is why we created this channel to bond over whiskey.
Yeah. And we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a beloved member of this community that supported us in our early days. His name's Professor Rusty. He really helped us out when we were kind of trying to get our footing, and he actually recommended us for this opportunity on Whiskey Vault, where we get the chance to, share our love of whiskey with you.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about our channel and what we're doing, please, you can find us at the links below. We're so glad
you're here.